Hey, I'm back again with another solo advice video. This time we're talking about On Green Dolphin Street. This one is arranged by Victor Lopez. Originally, music is by Bronislaw Kaper, lyrics by Ned Washington. My band's playing this right now for a concert coming up, and I have a trombone and a trumpet soloist. It looks complicated. I mean, there's like lots of slash chords like this. So there are tricky parts to this, but like everything that I've talked about so far, there's a rhyme and reason to everything, and there are also tricks to break a chord changes up into chunks to group it together. So that's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do, so this is in the key of B flat, so this is our 1. So this B flat 6-9, it's a really nice chord. Basically it means that it's a B flat major 7, but you want to add the 9, which would be a C in this case, concert, and the 6, which would be a G, or the 13, you can think of it that way. So it's really nice open fourth, well, it's an open fourth chord, really. I mean, you have, that means you can play the major scale. So rather than me say, do something fancy with it or whatever, just play concert B flat scale. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. Everyone, when they're in band, they're learning concert B flat scale at first. That's the first one you learn. Okay, so that's gonna be what you're gonna want to play for these two measures. So it lasts all the way here, and then we have, I'm gonna change the color because this is pretty cool. It happens. We have the 1 of the key. Remember, this is the key of B flat, and now we're playing the minor 7. So I'm gonna write 1 minor 7. And for all of you classical theorists, this capital I is probably driving you crazy. Just relax. This is the way I learned at Berkeley, and this is the way that makes sense to me. I could do it lowercase, but then I start to think that it's not jazz, like it's classical music or something. I don't know. It doesn't help me. So this is my video. I'm doing it the way I want, so you can deal with it. So we have 2 measures of 1 major, 2 measures of 1 minor. And this minor, there are lots of different minor scales that you could learn. There's natural or relative minor, there's melodic minor, there's harmonic minor, then there's Dorian. You should experiment with it and see. For what I'm doing today, talking about, I suggest the natural minor. And natural minor is the easier one because it has flat 3, flat 6, and flat 7. And again, this is a basic scale that everybody knows. One thing you could do instead of natural minor, you could play Dorian. And the only reason I would suggest Dorian would be because of the, natural 6. And Dorian is actually a mode, but to make it easy to understand, modes are scales that can be based off of any note in a major scale. For instance, if I'm going to play concert C, major scale, from C to C, that's Ionian mode. That would be 1. And if I were to start it a note higher, D to D, but I'm using all the notes of C, that's Dorian. Then there are other names, but we're not going to go into it. But in Dorian, we have, compared to the D major scale, I'm going to be lowering the 3 and the 7. Flat 3, flat 7. So you have a half step where you don't usually hear it. So all this to say, the reason why I suggest that natural for beginners is because it's one of the other scales that you learn. You learn the major scales first, then you start to go into minor territory. And you should know your natural minor scales for all 12 keys. It's not that hard to get around. Now, if you want something more of a challenge, then you could do Dorian. I'll just write Dor, and then that would mean that you would have all the notes above except it's a natural 6. The reason why I'm suggesting a natural 6 is because, let's see if I can do this in one long line, because of this. You hear Dorian mode a lot in jazz, because it has a cool rub to it. But another reason in this case specifically is because our first chord, that B flat 6-9, has a 6 explicitly in the chord. They want it to be a 6, a B flat 6. So why not just go from B flat So that's an option. So again, if you're new to all this, what I'm saying doesn't make sense, stick with your natural minor and you'll be fine. If you want a challenge, then you should jump to Dorian and try it out. Let's keep going. These measures they look weird. The whole purpose of the bass in this tune, because it's Latin, and that's important to keep in mind, we have this and if you're the director, you've noticed in the bass line, for the bass part itself, we have bum, bum, boom, bum, 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 bum. So basically, you're establishing the groove with the bass, and we keep that going all 8 measures. So for instrumentalists who are soloing, what do you do when you have B flat in the bass and you're supposed to play a C7, a C flat 7, and then back to B flat 6? Here's my advice, and I'll use a different color. You're going to want to learn your arpeggios. This is going to be the easiest trick, and it's something that you can do fairly easily. And I'm saying fairly because it takes some work. It's not the same as you've learned this scale. You learned concert major. Concert B flat major when you first started. Then you progress to minors, natural minor. But arpeggiating 7th chords might be different for you. If you can't arpeggiate a 7th chord, just arpeggiate the triad. So that would sound like... Then you go back to your 1 here. And that's obvious because it's the same. So here's why I'm suggesting to arpeggiate here. You could figure out, yeah, you could do this scale, but really that's not what's happening. If you think about the song and the motion of the chords, it's not really doing anything except just going from 2 to this flat 2 to the 1. And this is actually, if you're in this category, then this is a tritone substitution. You could think of it that way as well. But anyway, see, if you don't understand that, don't worry about it. But this arpeggio here, all you really want to do is you want to highlight the fact that there's some funky chords going on, and you just want to exploit that on your instrument. So for instance, you're playing this B flat. You could do something cool. Then you just take it down a half step. Then you take it down a half step again. Sorry. So you want to figure out a pattern, and this is where math comes in handy, or thinking in shapes when you're soloing. If you can come up with a cool pattern for this C7, do the exact same pattern, a half step lower, then a half step lower, and then you're golden, you're fine. So for example, I'm going to do something, this is what I'll do. Let's see, I'll do, then I'm going to do, so I did flat 7 to 1, then I'll just do the same thing, a half step lower. Then, so, maybe that wasn't the best example, but you get the idea. You could do a lot. So the main thing to keep in mind is that you have an arpeggio that lasts for a measure, then you want to bring it down a half step, and then you do it again, probably. Then you can take a break here before you start into the next section, which goes into swing. Now, if this doesn't look obvious to you, this is a minor 7 to a dominant 7 to a major 7 in disguise. This should be a big clue that this is a 2-5-1. The other clue is are the roots of these chords moving up in fourths. C to F to B flat. Yes, they are. So this is a 2-5-1, and more specifically, this is a 2-5-1. This is a 2-5-1 in our major key. So I'm just going to strike this through the whole way, meaning that you could play all the notes from a concert B flat scale during these 4 measures. Now, do you play root to root? Please don't do that. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that you're using these notes. You should be hitting the notes that make this chord. For the C minor 7. You want to be arpeggiating, or you want to be utilizing the 3 and the 7 for all these chords that are here. That's going to sound the strongest. If you play, I'm hitting lots of good notes that are jiving with these chords. I could also play lots of scales starting on these notes. So I could start on an E flat, I could start on a G, a C, a B flat. So I have to find a way to make sure I hit a chord tone, F, A, C, or E flat for this chord, then B, B flat, D, F, or A, or G, or C for this chord. So for instance, I'm just filling time, and I'm not purposely saying I'm going to hit this note, I'm going to hit this note, but if you are just starting out, pick a note. If you're getting used to this still, say, I'm going to start all of my solos with E flat or the flat 3. And then when I get to this note, I really want to hit the 3rd. So I want to hit an A. And then I want to hit the G. So these are your target notes that you want to hit in your solo. You're going to start on an E flat with your solo. So that's what I did in my solo. I start on E flat, move to A, then my next note to hit was G. And I probably should have went to F. It sounded better for what I was doing, but it's okay. But have these target notes in mind. Write them on your music. And just practice how can you get from here to here. And remember, it's easy because you're in the key of 1. So if you know your concert B flat scale, then you just have to transpose these chords for your instrument. Now let's look at this one down here. We have a minor 7 to a dominant 7 to a major 7 explicitly. And this is the exact same as the above. Let's make sure that our roots move up and forths. We have an E flat going to an A flat, E, F, G, A flat, A, B, C, D. But they're all flats. So this is also a 2-5-1, except this is now a 2-5-1, and this is now in 1 minor 7. And it goes for this whole measure. And then what do we have here? We have a minor 7 to a dominant 7, and we repeat to a disguised major 7. And this is a C, D, E, F, G, A, B. This is also a 2-5, but now it's a 2-5 in R1. And remember, same thing as I just said above, here. You want to make sure that you hit the target notes. Don't just play a concert B flat major scale here. Don't just play a concert B flat minor scale here, or a concert B flat Dorian scale here and just call it good. You really need to hit target notes. So, in this one tune with all of these crazy chords, what am I really suggesting that you focus on? Know your 1 major, your 1 minor, and your arpeggios. I'm going to write out a game plan for you. So first, scales. Okay? You need to write down, or not write down, you need to practice your 1 major, your 1 minor, or if you're feeling up for it, Dorian, and you would just switch out this for Dorian here. The next thing you need to do is you need to do your arpeggios, and these are going to be going in half steps. And it's a sequence. And this happens right here, Then after this, after you've achieved these things, I really suggest that you define target notes, okay? And these target notes, again, are going to be notes that really tell the listener, that they inform the listener that, oh, it's that kind of chord, or this is what's coming next, or your notes are purposely heading towards a destination. You're not just wandering, you're purposely heading towards a destination. So the best notes to hit for your target notes are always going to be root, 3, and 7. 5, you can hit it and it's fine, but it's not as definitive as a root, as a 3, and as a 7. You can hit it, and there's nothing wrong with it. I was suggesting, oh, I want to hit that F here. That sounded better. Remember like 7 minutes ago? Man, these videos are long. Sorry. There's a lot of information that I want to explain. The 3 and the 7 and the roots, the 3 and the 7 especially, these ones are really going to inform the listener. It's really going to be clear, that's that kind of chord, and it's going to feel really solid. So, game plan, chords, you should be good with this tune. I hope this video was helpful to you, and happy practicing.